Hello, gang. How are you? Welcome to a edition of Sunday School. It's cool. Don't look at my hair. It's hideous, right? I just play with my hair. It look great. I don't have it like stapled on or whatever. But I digress. He's a clean boy. Yes, but why? Well, I try to be uprightish. I'm crass. I ain't perfect. I ain't a priest. I didn't appreciate that. This priest. These. No, how do you CGI that? That's just clever. And you think, people aren't here. Turn page flip. I edit it out like you don't know we know how to do that. I don't, right? I don't like I couldn't do that. Yeah, but then you can't hack in with the open source and mark a little photo as if he tries to upload the territory, it won't do it. Yeah, but then if I duplicate the photo and pick that one, it's fine without even closing the app because you've actually gone into the open source and put a little program hacker bugly boo on the file, just but I know about computers. I was a computer science major at one point in time. I've worked in the arts, but also as an editor with as an Apple consultant with Xan and shared storage system, and I know my shit. But now I notice all the ways everybody's got their own operating system. It seems the same, but this is Sunday school. It's cool. So that's your little intro. Anywho, let's get into it. Let's just, right, Fredo? Let's get into it. So, all right, it's 15. We're doing Daniel, and I'm going to go quick, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents about the other. Remember I said 8 and beyond? 8 is a slightly different one, but then 9 and beyond, well, it's all the back half. But I'm not going to start with the back half. I'm going to go through Daniel 2, a little bit of it, and especially the prayer, and that'll piggyback into the main thing, which is Daniel chapter 9, the prayer. And the 77s prophecy, the 70 weeks prophecy about Jesus, I'll touch on that. And then I'll do the Son of Man one. And right on up through the end to 12. I'll still glaze over the Maccabees war / whatever else he could be alluding to that upset him so much. But then chapter 12 is the last chapter. That's the end times one proper, but it's very, very vague. Whatever it is he saw, I didn't really, but then there's something about 1,290 days, which is almost 3.5 years. It's just slightly more. It's 12.5 days more, actually, than today proper in Israel, in my opinion. But today is the proper, you know what I mean? But then there's something about 1,290, and blessed is the person who can last 48 more days from there. And I like verbatim. And it's my job to feel the need to point out you're not the most honest or savvy cats because you're all priests. You're priests, and I must be a priest and meet the high priestess. Yeah, 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 yeah. Gong, 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 gong. You're not pious. Don't do that. Don't go to your Christian church if you have something against your brother or sister. If you know, you did the muggle thing where, we're the muggles, even though, no, you're a muggle, you don't even know about the Great Spirit in the sky these days, Most High, God. You're the muggle. You like magic, right? And sorcery? And buggly boos? These strange crickets. And pop. Yes, I know about them. But you... At any rate. But you just, you gotta scratch. They gotta scratch. We need a czar. You do not. You need God. And you need to follow the laws of the land, lest you die. Because whatever has infirmed them was not boss, or you people, or like Wi-Fi, or whatever you would say to them. God will just prove it. And then you already know, we take that for granted. It's like the curse, right? Whatever you say. It's not. It's this stuff. Let's get into it. So Daniel chapter 2, that's your little intro there. 5:15. Nebuchadnezzar's dream, chapter 2, right? Now I'm not going to read through it because I'll put it on screen in the special ED. You know, we've got ED. Yes, you do. So the special ed edition will have the text, but this will come first, and then they'll censor it and get it to do something not verbatim. But how would you know? Yeah, well, right. And then, no one's supposed to trust anyone anymore. That's so sweetie. So Nebuchadnezzar has this dream. It really disturbs him. He asks all the wise men that he has, because he's Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon in its heyday with the hanging gardens and that place. Babylon. Now, there's a theory that the hanging gardens were actually in Nineveh, and it's like an Assyrian thing. I don't personally subscribe to that because they probably had them too, but how do you know there were no hanging gardens? There probably were. It seemed like one of the wonders of the world that these people marveled at, right? Anyway, they were importers. So, anyway, sing. Well, we're reading the Bible here. Where did they even write it if not Babylon, verbatim? A lot of it they did. But the book of Daniel, verbatim. Even it's not even old stuff that he's writing. He's not like Ezra rescribing the text or whatever. Nope. And then they always say, Ezra just wrote it. Oh my, that's not true. He just compiled what was written from yesteryear. They even give him credit for that, but he didn't write Kings or Chronicles or whatever. They wrote it as they just wrote little, they added on to it as each king would die or whatever. They give him if it was a mean king, some of them get one sentence. This guy was the worst. Then he's out. Others you get a couple stories. There's not very many nice ones, as I mentioned in the very first pilot episode. So Nebuchadnezzar then asked Daniel. Daniel is one of his guys. So Daniel went in and asked the king to give him, this is chapter 2, verse 16. So Daniel went in and asked the king to give him time, that he might tell the king the interpretation, because he had some dream that disturbed him. And he wouldn't tell what the dream was. He wouldn't say. Because then the wise men would just, the magicians or whatever, would just interpret it. So he didn't do that. He said, you tell me my dream. You tell me. And if you can't, I'll kill you, because you claim you can do that. It really bothered him. Whatever the vision God gave, God had a nice, fun relationship with Nebuchadnezzar. I bet he did slither in. The Bible even seems to imply that guy probably, whatever he needed to figure out with respect to God, he did. But, he went nuts and had to go, went a wild, anyway, normally you might find that unbelievable, but these days, I think you understand verbatim about it. All right, let's get into it. So Daniel went in and asked the king to give him time, that he might tell the king the interpretation. Then Daniel went to his house and made the decision known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they might seek mercies from the God of heaven concerning this secret, so that Daniel and his companions might not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon, because he was sick of it. These people are bullshitters. Then, after he did this, the secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision. So Daniel blessed the God of heaven. That's what it says verbatim. At least in the New King James Version, which, if you know anything about those guys, the only thing they strove for was verbatim. They didn't try to make it more current. Except, well, right, the King James went for verbatim. And then the New King James also went for verbatim. But they did sort of update it, but not totally. And they also incorporate it's verbatim. But, like, it's not, thou art Deutschwein, you know, like, it's not like medieval speak. But, like, anyway, that's just what this one says. And they don't even charge, like, they're not going to sue you if you use, like, the entire Bible for something. Let alone, like, I mean, 1,000 words or less without express written consent in the ESV, like with the Gideon, like the new normal Gideon. Like, they'll sue you, and it's like baseball time or whatever, and then, like, Disney's going to switch out all their Bibles for ESV. When that was copyright 2013. Why do you need a new one? It's mostly based on the King James. Maybe a little NIV and then some new stuff. But why do you're going to, I got it. It's just business as usual. Give them something free, they will resell it to the poor. But in this one, Daniel, the secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision. So Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Now, how do you bless God who you can't really, you know, he blesses you, right? So how did he bless it? With prayer and praise. Daniel answered. So Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of God forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his. And he changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells with him. I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and might, and have now made known to me what we, him and his buddies, asked of you. You just gave it to me. For you have made known to us the king's demand, because he insisted. It'll just kill you. He wasn't that bad of a king. He just he understood he's like emperor here. It's a kingdom, the Babylonian Empire. But he's not Palpatine about it. But most, you know, they get a little stinking drunk with that power, and then this just dumb luck always smites them. He's the invisible one who dwells between the cherubim. Now, if you say, well, I mean, then you really got problems with you. You're not impressed. So Daniel went and interpreted the dream, and you'll have to read all about it for yourself, right? Something about a bunch of kingdoms. It's a statue, and he interprets it because the head is gold, then there's silver, and then there's like a bronze like legs and iron feet, and iron mixed with clay on the shoes or something. And that's his vision. And it really disturbed him to see this image and like something horrible about it. But then God showed the same thing to Daniel, and he was able to interpret it. So he went back and explained how, see, you're the head, you're the gold, Babylon. After you guys will come like a different one. It's turned out to be Persia. After that will come like a different one, which will be like Greece. And then like the iron one will be like Rome about it. And then like there's more to the vision, because that statue, then like there's this rock that's like comes and just like destroys it, and that rock will be the kingdom that does not, like, no one will touch it. And this pleased Nebuchadnezzar because it made sense to him. He didn't care if like Babylon falls one day. Like, yeah, that'll happen sometime. He wouldn't care about that. He was thrilled with the news. That's paraphrasing, but look, I could just read it to you, but but there is something about like the iron mixed with the ceramic clay and the iron, and like they always say like maybe that's Rome, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It could be the Reich, but I don't think so. In this instance, I think it was relating to but I could be wrong. I don't know, right? Because I'll read the very verbatim of it. I'll go a little slow. You, O king, were watching, and behold a great image. This great image, this is verse 31 of chapter 2. You, O king, were watching, and behold a great image. This great image, whose splendor was excellent, stood before you, and its form was awesome. This image's head was of fine gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. You watched while a stone was cut out with hands, which struck the image on its feet of iron and clay, and broke them in pieces. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were crushed together and became like chaff from the summer threshing floors. The wind carried them away so that no trace of them was found, and the stone that struck the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. That's his vision. Verbatim. And he said to him, this is the dream. Now we will tell the interpretation of it before the king. And then he interprets it for him. And he even says, you, O king, are king of kings, for the God of heaven has given you a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wherever the children of men dwell, or the beasts of the field and the birds of heaven, he has given them into your hand and has made you ruler over them. You are this head of gold. But after you shall rise another kingdom inferior to yours, and another a third kingdom of bronze, which shall rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, inasmuch as iron breaks in pieces and shatters everything. And like iron that crushes, that kingdom will break in pieces and crush all the others, which is why it just might be the fourth beast. Savvy? But it's intermingled with the Roman Catholic Church, I bet. So, at any rate. But then there's this rock. So that's chapter 2. Now we're 18 minutes in, and we're going to start, I'm going to take a break. This will be maybe a second clip, because I do want to smoke a stogie. Visions of the Four Beasts, that's chapter 7. What's that one? I don't know. But well, right, the fourth beast shall be fourth kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all other kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, trample it, and break it in pieces. Then 10 horns, the 10 horns are 10 kings, who shall arise from this kingdom, and another shall rise. He shall be different from the first ones, and shall subdue 3 kings. He shall speak pompous words against the Most High. Shall persecute the saints of the Most High, and shall intend to change the laws of the time. Then the saints shall be given into his hand for a time, and times, and half a time. That's 1,277.5 days, but they don't mind. You're stupid. But the court shall be seen, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it just forever. See, then the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people, the saints of, well, God. See, God's kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey God. Most High. And He has a mighty one. The Son, the Ancient of Days, and the Son of Man, and like coming in the cloud. Like the verbatim one from Daniel. How would He know about Daniel? He's in the book of Daniel, Jesus is. I'm about to read it. That's chapter 10. But we're basically going to read 9, 10, and 12, okay? I'm not going to do the vision of a ram and a goat. I don't, it's another one. But the prince of the host, it's very important to the Reich, the Daniel prophecy, Daniel's very important to the Reich. I'm going to smoke a cigarette, so clip 2 is going to come your way in a little bit. But I'll get uploading this one, because it's a mini episode, and then, all of a sudden, the next one is, chapters 9 and, 10. I'll glaze over 11, and then, 12. But the 11's the Maccabees one. The Hanukkah and the Cramp and the Judah, Iscariot. Or no, wait a minute. No, that's Judah Maccabee. Some Judahs are nice. Even Jesus' brother was Judah. But he went by Jude when he wrote that book because, and then the other Judah, or Judas, rather, the other Judas, there were 2 apostles named Judas, but then that guy, he went by his Greek name because it just, how, maybe in Germany after, World War II, the name Adolf went out of style a little bit. Wait a minute, I'm sure there's nice Adolfs, but, they don't want to name their kids Adolf at the moment. So it was with Judas, right around the time of that, for whatever reason. And you even see, he goes by Jude, but it's Jesus' brother. Because in Matthew, it lists Jesus' brother's names verbatim. It tells you their names. One of them, is Joseph. Because, the dad's name is also Joseph. But then, there's, I think there's Simon maybe, and then there's James and Judas. And then Jude's hey, this is Jude, brother of James and bondservant of Jesus. And the one God. And then James, he said he's got a similar greeting. And there's certain there is no God, only Jesus. And they just say that. And shame on them. Because that's convenient. Because if he's the angel of the Lord and he's gone, then you light a candle and you pray to Satan or whatever. Oh, all right.